Hi, wildlife students. As we wrap up our fish unit, the last thing I wanted to teach you about if we were in our lab was we were going to dissect some bass fish because I wanted you to do some internal anatomy. You've already researched the external anatomy of a fish. So we learned that this top part of the fish is called the dorsal side. So the back, this is its backbone. Up here, we've got the dorsal fin. This fish I picked up along the stream yesterday at Camp Lazarus. Unfortunately, at the waterfall, it had accidentally went down the waterfall and landed on some of that shale and was out of the water and didn't survive. So I picked it up knowing that we could dissect it today. So it is a small creek chub. A lot of times you'll see me just call everything minnows, but you can actually learn to identify the minnows. The Ohio Division of Wildlife has a field guide, Stream Fish of Ohio, and I can even post it on our Google Classroom, but this is one of the many free downloads that the Division of Wildlife has. So with our dorsal fin, you can tell it's a smaller fin, obviously with a smaller fish, but it does have the spines. You hear that noise. So that is the dorsal fin. You're going back here, one of the fins that you had to identify during your fish anatomy, external anatomy, was called this caudal fin. And remember, the section that connects the caudal fin to the fish, we call that the peduncle. So we've got a peduncle on here. Going up to the front, we have right up here, this is what we call the pectoral fin. So the pectoral fin is a paired fin, meaning that there's one on each side. And then if we look at this fish at a different direction, you can see that I'm ready to dissect it. I've kind of opened it up, and I apologize if it's not coming through with colors on you. So here's the other side of the pectoral fin. And then going next, it's also a paired fin, so there are two of them. We have our pelvis, our pelvic fin. So we have pectoral, pelvic, which is also paired, and then back here we have our anal fin. And the anal fin is not paired. So it's just one individual little fin right here. And you remember, some of you, there is a fin that something like our catfish has, and it's the fat fin, the adipose fin. It would be about right here on this fish if it had it. But this is a creek chub, good for bait if we wanted to do that. So it doesn't have the adipose fin. One thing when you were studying fish characteristics and you were comparing fish, we talked about how these fish tail fins are different, and you in your research hopefully discovered that as these tail fins change, it determines how fast or slow the fish can swim. So this is called a forked fin. You can kind of see it right through there, how it's forked in there. So the deeper the fork goes, the faster the fish can swim. So this is a fast swimming fish, not as fast as some of our other ones, but it definitely is faster than some of the common ones that you may see. Remember, up front we had a mouth on our fish. We can see if we can get it open. So we got a mouth. We have a couple teeth in there as well. So there's its mouth. We have two eyes. The nostrils, I'm seeing them right here on top. I don't think this video is going to be able to get that, but we have our nares, N-A-R-E-S, that's your nares. And then lastly, on bony fish, remember how you had to research that there were three types of fish: the cartilage fish, the jawless fish, and then the bony fish. So this is in the bony fish category. So on our bony fish, we actually have kind of a bone right there. So in that bone, that's our operculum. It is covering the gills. Usually when you open that up, you see 4 gills in there. Now, as we go to and we open up our fish to actually do the dissection, what you should notice is you should notice a heart, a liver, intestines, and then something towards the top, towards the back side of it, so the dorsal side, is you should notice the swim bladder. The swim bladder is very important because that's going to let it float. typically it's full of gas, oxygen. Sometimes you have some fish not around here, but you go to your ocean fish and other places and it's actually full of an oil. But that's going to help that fish open up, and it is going to let it float and keep its balance in there. So as we open this up, one of the things that you're going to be able to see when you dissect fish is you're going to be able to tell the male or female side of the fish, which one it is. You see in your males, when you open this up, and right now we are looking at its intestines, so you can probably see some of this coming out with its intestines. We are just looking at one organ down here. So in a male, you would actually have two organs, two testes. So, and then for your female, you just have one ovary. So that is definitely just your one. Way up at top, we do have some of our swim bladder up here on top. And then if we keep going, we've got a liver. Got the liver right there. And then you're going to go on up and we will have the heart. So unfortunately we didn't get to dissect our bass fish like we had planned in our lab, but I did want to let you know some of the unique internal and external parts of the fish as we round out our fish unit. Looking at overall, okay, what would Mrs. Ray want me to know about the fish? For sure, your external anatomy. So know your fins. Know that internally, how are you going to tell if it's a male or female? Some of your fish have different colors, male versus female, what we call the dimorphic. We talked about that when we were studying our trees last fall, and some of them do not. So when we go to do an internal dissection, you can always know that the male is going to have two organs, the female is going to have the one. Hope this finds you well, and I will post this for you, and we'll have a little worksheet that you can follow along with.